When we last rode with the orange assault of the Red Bull KTM team, they were navigating the forests in Washougal at round 8 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship Series. While 450 rider Ryan Dungey added more and more championship points towards changing the number 5 on his bike to a number 1 for 2013, his 250 teammates Musquin and Roczen were having a hard time even getting on or near the podium. The entire team would get a nearly 3-week break to go home, rest up, and get ready for the final push of this historic season for KTM. That push would start in the legendary motocross sandbox, simply known as Southwick.
Watered the track for us for tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be good.
Motocross 338 is located in Southwick, Massachusetts. The track has been operating for 40 years, and as part of the National Pro Series, it has always been known for its deep sand that wreaks havoc on bikes and bodies.
Of course, we protect the air filter better. Try to use a little different setup for that. If it's a little wet, the sand is going to start clogging up the radiators, and that'll bring up some heat.
He's got a good sand technique, and he's motivated, he's happy, and you can see he's got a bit of fire in him again, and he's ready to go.
For Ryan Dungey, the track has a more infamous reputation after what happened in 2011.
Yeah, remember Dungey had some bad luck of his own here. Last year won the first Moto and then ran into trouble, couldn't get the bike started for Moto 2. He finally rejoined the track almost a lap down and finished 7th in that race. So as Dungey knows from first-hand experience, anything can happen when we go out here racing in the sand and the rain.
This guy is just messing around, girl. Woo. Bum, 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 bum.
The saying goes, the fuel going in the body is as important as the fuel going in the bike. Makes you wonder what Kelly is putting in Roczen's 250.
In a championship motocross sandwich, that's pretty easy. Burger meat, cheese, barbecue, onions.
A rider like Ryan Dungey has to find time to race, interact with his team, and make time for the fans that ultimately pay the bills. Finding time for himself means having a place for yourself at the races.
Let's come inside, check it out. A lot of room for him to kind of hang out and for the race and whatnot, and he stays in here, chills out, you know. He likes the whole creature comforts of the motorhome and stuff like that, so it kind of saves him for the drive and the hassle of getting up really early to make the trek from the hotels to the racetrack.
Practice and qualifying would let all the Red Bull KTM riders see how the sand would affect their bikes and their starting positions.
Had good times. We made a couple adjustments to the bike that I think helped us out, and tried some new stuff.
But it's okay, it rains, but the track is sandy, so it's perfect. I expected it to be a little more like flowing, you know. The corners are pretty tight for the sand, so, but overall, you know, the layout's pretty cool, and just kind of trying to get used to it.
Before the first moto got underway, an important announcement was made. The selection by team manager Roger DeCoster of Team USA for the Motocross of Nations to be held at perhaps the most famous sand track in the world, Lommel, Belgium, late September.
Yeah, and it's not only my home country, but it's also the place where we won the first time, you know, in '81. It's cool to go back there, and again with really 3 young guys, you know, very young riders.
With the riders we have, Justin Barsha and Baguette, you know, they're really good riders, especially Barsha moving up to the 450. Great sand rider, great 450 rider, so I think if we work together, we can get the job done.
Dungey would show his strength, patience, and why he is Team USA's captain when the gate dropped on the first moto of 450s.
Doesn't matter what the first turn is like, you can bet on the 800 grabbing a hole shot. There goes Dungey, the inside on Nicoletti.
After getting around Phil Nicoletti for second, he set his sights on Mike Alessi, and as the rain fell, he made his move about halfway through the moto, charging on for the win.
Oh, here we go, Dungey to the inside. This could be it, Dungey gets to the inside. Ryan Dungey wins Moto 1 here at Southwick.
The 250s would see new Geico Honda rookie Zach Bell hole shot with Baguette, Musquin, and Tomac behind.
And I think it's going to be Zach Bell with the hole shot. Right now you got Musquin and Tomac battling second and third.
Later in the moto, Zach Bell's lead had been replaced by a charging Marvin Musquin and Eli Tomac, who would capitalize on a mistake by the Frenchman for the win. The second would be Marvin's best finish of the season.
Eli Tomac takes the win with a big margin here in Moto 1 at Southwick.
Good job, get! Good wide lap.
The second moto of the 450s has started for Ryan Dungey like so many others this season. A good start and a comfortable lead.
Another Mike Alessi hole shot. This time he's got Dungey and Mike Brown on the number 3 right with him.
That would change about 16 minutes into the moto.
What is this? What is this? Ryan Dungey, he's screwing the gas cap lid on.
In the crash, Ryan would lose a large amount of fuel, causing his crew to find out how much, and knowing how far he could go in the fuel-robbing Southwick sand, strategically make an unprecedented decision.
When I went down, my foot must have hit the gas cap. It took that off with it, and I looked over and I saw gas coming out.
At first we were not sure what to do. If we didn't have a good idea how much fuel we lost, we decided we have to do it. And then we signaled Ryan 5 laps from the end to come in.
And here he is, headed into the pits. I've never seen this happen before.
They're using 2 bottles to fuel it as fast as they can to refill it. Ryan Dungey already back on his way. We'll have to see where he comes out in this line.
Tyler Rattray wins the moto, but Ryan Dungey is going to win the overall on a dramatic day here at Southwick.
The swift decision and action of his team made the difference between only 5 points lost to Tyler Rattray for the win and a potential disastrous DNF from running out of fuel.
It's a good thing he did because we only gave up 3 points and we could have given up 25 if the bike had stopped.
You made about 20,000 fans right now.
First pit stop of my life.
Yeah.
Hey, but next one will be better.
But we put fuel in, you know, we stopped him. And that's all what was left when he finished.
It's like nothing.
No, I'm glad they pulled me in that lap they did because I wouldn't have made it another lap.
Ken Roczen had been hoping and working toward a ride he could be proud of all season. That ride would come in the second moto.
And it's Nelson on the 136 going to grab the whole shot.
His technique right now, like he looks confident on the bike. He looks like the Ken Roczen that we saw win the World Championship.
Uh-oh, battle for the lead, Jeff. Baggett has caught Roczen.
Even with Geico Honda's Eli Tomac's blistering but faithful pace on both riders, Kenny would show Baggett more than once that this German would not be a pushover any longer, and his American schooling was about complete.
And the overall, here comes Roczen back! And Ken Roczen showing the kind of fight that people were hoping for at the beginning of the year. What great fight for the number 70, and Baggett crosses over again.
Baggett to the lead.
Blake Baggett wins here at Southwick.
Good fight. Good fight.
Southwick showed what this team is made of, with strong rides by Musquin and Roczen on the 250s and smart teamwork for Dungey's strange fuel mishap.
I'm really glad things worked out and the guys made the right decision.
After everything right now, I'm like, dude, I had to fight back again after he passed me again. You know, that would have been an awesome race. But when you're empty, you're empty. You cannot push more than how much energy you have because then you're going to go down.
Like first moto, I was riding really smooth and blah, blah, blah. Every lap's the same. So even if Baggett was behind me, you know, I keep going, so it was a really good moto.
They can all hope to continue that trend the next week in Unadilla. Well, except for that fuel cap with a mind of its own.
You need to stop doing these weird things here at this track.
You know, that's why we're a team. We work together.
With only 3 rounds to go, can the Geico Honda Young Guns catch the ever-determined Blake Baggett? Join us next week in Unadilla at AlliSports.com/YouTube.
I'm so gonna get you like little kisses, like those pasties, little tassels on them, just hanging on the jingle bells.